Hi guys, it's me, Canada from Hot Tub Nation here, and today it's another fanfic review. Today we're going to be reviewing She Brings the Butterflies by Thyre Candy Truff. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a really difficult name to pronounce, but that's the fanfiction we're reviewing today, and this is a really great fanfiction. It's absolutely amazing. So, yeah, let's get started then. The story starts off with Pinkie Pie going up to Fluttershy's cottage, knocking on the door. Apparently, she has invitations to a get-together her and her friends are going to be doing at Sugar Cube Corner. Well, when she realizes no one's answering, she goes in to see if she's in the house. And when she gets there, she realizes no one's there, and she sees that her room is totally a mess. Her covers and everything are just strewn about the room, like she had left in a hurry. She runs out and goes to Cube Corner to tell her friends. They're thinking that she just probably left in a hurry to do something, and that she'll be back soon. But they decide that, they should just look around for her around Ponyville to see if she's around. Well, they go around asking everybody where she's at, and no one is sure where she's at. No one's seen her, and they get really scared. Well, Applejack mentions that there's one place that they haven't looked, and that's the Everfree Forest. So they decide to go look. So they suit up in winter gear because it's like winter out there, so they put on their boots and coats and scarves to go into the Everfree Forest. And they spend about all day in the Everfree Forest looking for her, and they cannot find her. Absolutely, they couldn't find her. And Pinkie Pie by this time is just utterly terrified that she, lost her friend. She has no idea where she is, and she starts going it sort of starts to go in this sort of depression state that since her friend is lost. And they go back occasionally. They actually go to the Everfree Forest a couple more times when they decide that they can't keep doing this. They can't keep looking for her because they think she might be dead and you're buried in the snow, and it's just too cold out there. They just won't be able to do it. So they just stop, except for Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie keeps going to the Everfree Forest looking for her. She eventually moves into Fluttershy's cottage, moving out of Sugar Corner, and this is the part where the story takes a really dark, depressing turn. Pinkie Pie's absolutely in a depression state. Like, she doesn't eat any more sugar, like cookies and cupcakes and anything like that. She doesn't throw any parties. She doesn't really go out. She doesn't go out to the town. She doesn't do anything. She actually has the CMC, Sweetie Belle, Apple Bloom, and Scootaloo all take care of the animals while she's out in the forest looking for Fluttershy. And she keeps doing this day in and day out, and through that time, her friends, well, Applejack sends her apples, and Verity sends her a present, boots to help her, walking in the snow. And that's what Applejack does throughout for a little while, until eventually one day they stop coming, and Pinkie Pie just sort of like, okay, she's finally given up on me. That's what all of her friends are thinking, that she's given up on Fluttershy, and she's given up on her, dealing with her. But she goes, what she does, she just decides to go to Ponyville, to the town, Ponyville, to see, what's going on. When she gets there, she sees nothing but butterflies through the entire town. Just the whole entire town is covered in butterflies, these pink butterflies. And something that I didn't mention before is throughout the story, the beginning of the story, as well as Pinkie Pie is at the house, she keeps seeing butterflies in the house as well every now and then, and she sees them in the forest and stuff. I didn't mention that, but now I am. But when she realizes, when she all the butterflies are flying away, she realizes that everyone in Ponyville is dead, like mysteriously dead, and she doesn't know why or how, and and now she's absolutely, she's terrified that her friends might be dead too, and she really doesn't know why or how, but she thinks it might have to do with the butterflies, I guess. I don't know if she realizes that it's butterflies or not. I couldn't really get that from the story. But yeah, she goes to find her friends, and each one of them is dead. Applejack and her family is all huddled up in the barn. They've, in the barn, in the corner of the barn, dead. Twilight is in her bed. Spike is, I guess, in his bed. Rarity was slumped over in her workbench. And the Rainbow Dash was in a tree, and she buries each of them. She places, and sort of like a gift to each of them. With Twilight, she gives her the elements of harmony. Applejack, she puts some apples on there. Rarity, she puts one of her mannequins on her grave, and then Rainbow Dash, she doesn't really do anything. She doesn't really give Rainbow Dash anything because she doesn't have anything for Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash was in a tree, so she doesn't have anything on her. But yeah, eventually that it's just all taking a toll on her. By now this point she really just wants to give up. She wants to die, and she starts thinking, why have the butterflies spared her? Why has she even spared this fate of death, this cruel fate of death, and not been killed? And she's the only one surviving, and she doesn't know why. She just wants it to end. She wants this to be over with. And eventually, at the end of the story, she decides to she's laying down on the couch or in the floor in the living room, I believe, until suddenly she hears a knock on the door, and she sees that she sees Fluttershy at the door, and Fluttershy just falls into Pinkie Pie's arms, and Pinkie Pie takes her and puts her into the bedroom in her bed, and she lays with her, and this scene is absolutely just a beautiful scene, and it's absolutely amazing. They're just huddled next to each other, and she knows what's gonna happen. Fluttershy says she tried to stop this plague and the butterflies reaching town, so she decides to take them to the forest, but it wasn't enough. Her wings couldn't carry her that far, and so eventually both her and Fluttershy end up dying, being consumed by the butterflies in the room. And yeah, it's pretty much the story, and it's absolutely gorgeous story. It's amazingly told, and I should expect this because it's actually from a song that I didn't listen to the song, but I did hear the description of it. And the story of the song is absolutely amazing. It's about this guy whose wife mysteriously disappears in these woods, and he goes out each day and every day to find her, and he lights a candle for her on her way back. And that's what Pinkie Pie does. I didn't mention it, but Pinkie Pie also started lighting a candle towards the end of the story for Fluttershy to maybe find her way home and stuff. Yeah, and he eventually he comes into town and sees that everyone in his town is dead, and he's the only one left. And over time, he just starts breaking down more and more until finally he sees one day his wife comes back, and she tells him what's going on, and that he tried to spare his fate and everyone else's. Eventually, they died together, and that's what the story's based on. And it's amazingly done and beautiful. There are only two problems with the story, and one of them is not really, it's just more of a nitpick. The other one is something that you kind of have to forgive for the sake of the story, and that's because no one helps Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie enters this huge depression where she's totally obsessed with finding Fluttershy in the woods. She ends up leaving Sugar Corner, not having parties, stopped eating sweets, and just being consumed by this. no one helps her at all. No one. Like, someone call a doctor. Do something. Therapist. Hell, talk to the princesses. So, just her friends just don't help her. They just ignore. They just like, just stop helping her and stop talking to her. And all that happens was Rarity gives her a gift, and Applejack just keeps giving her apples, and that's pretty much it. The other one is that this apparently takes over years and years, which is confusing because it doesn't really explain the time length very well. Like, she disappears during the winter time, but towards the end, it's already like this leaving fall, spring or something. I don't know. It's confusing. The other one, that one's a nitpick, but the other one's really like, why doesn't anyone help her? Is what I'm curious about. Once again, that's something you have to forgive for the sake of the story. But yeah, I definitely just checking the story out. It's amazing and beautifully done, and it deserves to be read a bunch of times over and over again. It's a story that I can read over and over again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, She Brings the Butterflies by Ether Candy Truff, I believe that's her name. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, I'm Canada, and goodbye for now.